An Islamic parade was seen today moving through the centre of historic Dublin, especially when it was spotted going down O'Connell Street, passing the GPO and passing several other significant landmarks. Many people are asking the question, is Ireland currently being Islamified? Of course, Ireland has traditionally and historically been a Christian country, at least it has been for the last several thousand years, but people cannot help but notice how more and more mosques are springing up, parades are taking place, various things are happening. Halal meat, for example, there's a whole furore about halal meat at this point in time, that it's being sold in various supermarkets across Ireland, and people, maybe they just don't want to eat halal meat. Simple as that. If you're a Muslim and that's what you do, then crack on. But maybe you don't want to eat meat that you believe has been taken from an animal that was inhumanely slaughtered and blessed by a Muslim cleric before it died. If that's what you want, then go ahead and do it. If it's not, maybe it's not your thing, or maybe the sight of local community centres being taken over for prayer sessions, or Croke Park being taken over from prayer sessions. And we've seen an Irish lady thrown out of Croke Park earlier on this year for going in and praying the rosary while a Muslim event was happening there. I'm just throwing this out there. Are we seeing a creep happening, a progressive creep whereby Ireland is slowly becoming Islamified, at least in certain places? So this is something that I want you to think about. Leave me your thoughts and comments below. I want to have a look at this parade that happened in Dublin today, and I believe it's the same group of people, or at least it could be, that tried to hold a parade earlier on this summer to the GPO, the famous GPO building, but they were countered by a group of Irish nationalists, and they had to re-divert that parade. It looks like it could be the same squad out today, a flash parade possibly. I don't know if anybody was aware of this. I only it was brought to my attention earlier on today. So let's have a look and see what's happening, and also see some of the other things that are happening that are causing people to ask questions. So here we go. Let's have a look at this parade first. So, you know, I'm just putting it out there. This is what's been captured here. They're driving through the centre of Dublin very slowly, these huge loudspeakers on the cars, parading down the middle of the street, shouting about the greatest prophet. So like I said, it's causing a lot of people's blood pressure to rise. Some people are asking questions. Others couldn't care less about this. So I'm trying to get a feel for what you think in the comment section below. Tell me what you think. So, you know, it's pretty loud, and, you know, one of the things, or one of the criticisms it's leveled during the calls to prayer, there's 5 calls to prayer per day. If a mosque is in operation, and usually they have loudspeakers up on the roof and they're blasting out the calls to prayer from as early as 5 o'clock in the morning. People find that very disruptive, or maybe they're in Dublin today and they just want a quiet, peaceful day shopping, and then the parade comes down. You know, the same could be said for nationalists that are parading down O'Connell Street. Maybe that disturbs people as well. I'm just saying, this is what was witnessed today on the streets of Dublin. There's another clip I have here from a different angle, so just to give you another flavour.
Centre, O'Connell Street. Holy pedophile.
So, you know, there you see it there. Holy Prophet Muhammad celebrating.
To the world, as a mercy to mankind, to all those around you, and all those who shall follow after you. You
Look
are
at this,
a
lads.
mercy to everyone. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin. Allahumma salli ala.
that gives you an idea.
Everyone,
It gives you an idea of how loud it is. The guy who's recording this video clip has to shout at the top of his voice to be heard over it. Even I'm having to reduce the volume of my microphone, and I'm hardly a quiet little soul, am I? So that's it. Now I've taken some footage as well from earlier on in the summertime. Like I said, I believe I could be wrong about this, but this could be another attempt at this protest that was headed off at the pass in July time. I think it was, where it was supposed to go and finalize its journey at the steps of the GPO, but that sent a lot of people into a right old tizzy, and there was a huge counter protest called for that, and it was blocked. But simply they made their way elsewhere and addressed the crowd, and I believe this is they just found their way to another place and addressed it there.
We still suffer. We cry for Palestine, where homes are destroyed, where babies die unnamed, and where the world turns its face away. Because Karbala is not history, it is happening. Karbala didn't end, it evolved. Imam Hussein stood alone once, but today he stands in the hearts of the oppressed. And just like he did once sat on a floating throne, today too, tyrants will respond and lies will claim the name of peace.
So it was just simply redirected somewhere else. I know for a fact that when that parade did happen in July, it did move to another venue. Both sides were kept apart by Angorda Síochána, and the steps of the GPO were commandeered, let's just say, by Irish nationalists waving a sea of tricolours. Now, another clip has came out, just to give you an example. This is a big criticism of the GAA, which in many people's eyes is an organization that can do no wrong, but they are letting out Croke Park, or have been now for several years, for Islamic prayer times. And again, I'm just saying this is what's happening. This is what's been happening historically. And now this is another building in Dublin, a handball centre run by the GAA, that's now been let out, I believe, for another group on a Friday. I think it's a group of taxi drivers, but they have, as you can see, taken up all the car parking spaces in around this communal facility, or could have been a communal facility, and they're having a time of prayer in there, I think, every Friday. So we'll hear what they have to say, and this is one of the chaps that's doing the organization for this, speaking to the camera.
Assalamualaikum everyone. This is our place for Juma. Here we have enough parking space, and this is the entrance.
This is our place. Very importantly, this is our place for our actions. GAA, the National Handball and something or other community. As you can see, they have a guy on the door, got a bouncer on the door there. He's got a chair there. I think it's going to make sure that no undesirables get in to interrupt. So yeah, there you have it.
This is the entrance.
Very nice, very well kept. Here we have the court completely taken over. So, that's a handball center, whatever you want to call it there. There's several other, I've done stories recently there. There's a huge 7-story mosque. It's just got the go-ahead mosque and apartment center complex. It's just got the go-ahead for a certain part of Dublin. The huge Clonsky mosque is still closed at the minute because of shenanigans and skullduggery that's been going on in there too. And many communal or community gathering points have been, shut down because they don't have adequate planning permission. So do they have no other option other than to go to places supplied by the GAA, or simply take to the streets of Dublin, marching down O'Connell Street, heading towards the GPO? Is this something we're going to see more of, or is it something you believe we should be seeing less of? Is this threatening to you, or how do you feel about this? Leave me your thoughts and comments below. Share this video out just to let people see what's happening and maybe gather their opinion on it as well. And of course, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. I'm Rick Munn. This is No Risk, No Reward Media. Over and out.